This is Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Home to 1.2 million people, this U.S. city is connected by a network of busways and light rail lines, which service 74 stations in 12 townships and boroughs. Consisting of 3 light rail lines and 3 busways, the system connects various neighborhoods across Pittsburgh, with trains and buses running frequently from downtown to the suburbs. But how did the system grow from its original stations to the network it is today? My name's Zach, and this is the evolution of the network. The Port Authority was founded in March 1964 and began taking over operations of Pittsburgh's transit services. In May of that year, operations of the city's 3 incline railways at Castle Shannon, Monongahela, and Duquesne were transferred under their control. However, only 1 month later, the Castle Shannon incline was closed, with service ending in June 1964. In February 1975, the Port Authority took over operations from the B&O Railroad of their Mon Valley commuter rail line. The route traveled from Versailles to Grant Street Station in downtown, making intermediate stops at McKeesport, Braddock, and Hazelwood. Pittsburgh's first busway opened in December 1977, with the South Busway running south from the Mount Washington Tunnel. 10 stations were serviced along the route, with buses running between downtown Pittsburgh and Glenbury, before continuing mixed traffic into the southern suburbs. A temporary commuter rail line began operations in March 1981, with the Parkway Limited running from Greensburg to Pittsburgh's Penn Station. Funded by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, the train was put in place during the reconstruction of the Parkway East and serviced 5 intermediate stops along the route. Service on the PA train was revised in July 1981, with a new station at Portview Liberty opening on the south end of the line. At the same time, the Hazelwood stop was closed, having seen very low ridership in the years prior. In August, the Parkway Limited service was revised, with the stop at Manor being closed and a new station opening in its place at Irwin. In November 1981, service ended on the Parkway Limited, with lower than expected ridership along the route and traffic congestion on parallel routes being less than anticipated. In February 1983, Pittsburgh's second busway opened, with the East Busway running east from downtown to Wilkinsburg. This new route serviced 4 intermediate stations, with buses continuing past the busway to various suburban destinations. In January 1984, the East Busway was renamed in honor of Martin Luther King Jr. Light rail service in Pittsburgh began in April 1984, when trains began running between South Hills Village and Castle Shannon along a rebuilt streetcar line. Streetcar service supplemented the light rail system, with other routes linking the newly opened line into downtown. In July 1985, Pittsburgh's downtown subway was opened, with 3 underground stations at Gateway Center, Wood Street, and Steel Plaza. The subway was initially serviced only by streetcars, with light rail vehicles beginning to run through the tunnel in November. Light rail service extended south of the river to Station Square, which offered an interchange with the South Busway and the nearby Monongahela Incline. May 1987 saw the 2 segments of light rail join to form the Beechview Line, which ran along a converted streetcar right-of-way. This light rail linked various neighborhoods along the streetcar route, traveling over a mix of terrain and servicing street-level, low-level, and high-level platforms. In June 1988, an LRT shuttle was launched in downtown, linking Steel Plaza with Penn Station on the East Busway. Additionally, limited trips on the Beechview Line were also extended north to Penn, providing direct trips to South Hills Village. In December, a second branch of the Beechview Line opened, adding 16 new stops south from Washington Junction to Library. This line also ran along a converted streetcar right-of-way, with the line having been closed to streetcars only 2 months prior. Commuter rail service in Pittsburgh ended in April 1989, when the PA train ceased operations. The 5 stations along the route were also closed at this time, with many of the original platforms remaining abandoned to this day. In June 1993, the LRT shuttle between Steel Plaza and Penn Station also ended, although limited service on the Beechview Line to Penn was retained. In October, light rail vehicles began operating on the 52 Allentown route, running between South Hills Junction and Gateway Center, servicing 10 street-level stops. Pittsburgh's third busway opened in September 2000, with the West Busway beginning service. The roadway serviced 6 new stations along a former railway and includes a 2,100-foot-long tunnel between Sheridan and Ingram. A new light rail station opened in downtown Pittsburgh in November 2001, with First Avenue Station servicing trains on the Beechview and Allentown routes. In June 2003, a 3-stop extension of the East Busway opened, adding service to Swissvale. Another light rail line was launched in June 2004, with the Overbrook line beginning operations. Starting from downtown, the line followed the Beechview route to South Hills Junction, before servicing 8 new stations along the former streetcar right-of-way. The line then continues south on the existing tracks to Washington Junction, before taking over the Beechview line service to Library. A new station on the Beechview line also opened at Overbrook Junction, offering a walking connection to a new Overbrook line station at Willow. In September of that year, a rush hour branch of the Overbrook line began, adding limited service to South Hills Village. Light rail service to Penn Station ended in September 2007, with only 2 weekday trips remaining at that time. Additionally, rush hour service on the Beechview line was cut back to Overbrook Junction, with only Overbrook line service being offered. In October 2009, construction of a light rail extension forced the closure of Gateway Center Station in downtown, with all trains now ending at Wood Street. Branding on the light rail system was simplified in April 2010, with the route numbers being dropped and the lines now being referred to by their colors. At the same time, Overbrook line service to South Hills Village was improved, with trains now running daily along the branch. However, this arrangement was short-lived, with weekend service on this branch being discontinued in March 2011. At the same time, a 15% service cut saw the cancellation of the Brown Line, with the remaining trips on the route being cut. Today, the tracks on this route remain in place and continue to be used during service disruptions. In March 2012, construction of the light rail extension concluded, with downtown service being extended to the North Shore. Trains resumed to a relocated Gateway Station, as well as servicing 2 new stops at Northside and Allegheny. In June of that year, 11 lightly used light rail stops were closed in order to make the service more efficient. In June 2014, weekend service on the Blue Line resumed to South Hills Village, with most Red Line trains now ending at Overbrook Junction. Service on the network was further changed in March 2020, with stops on the Library branch of the Blue Line being rebranded to the new Silver Line. Finally, in November 2020, the Red Line was extended back to South Hills Village at all times. This brings us to the Pittsburgh Light Rail and Busway map that we know today. That was the evolution of Pittsburgh's light rail and busway network, giving us the 3 lines and 3 busways that we know today. If you haven't already, be sure to watch our evolution of the network videos on other American cities, which you can access by clicking the button in the top right corner. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and comment down below to join in the discussion. My name's Zach, and I'll be vanishing underground until the next one.